What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and before we get into all the business today, I want to thank everyone for getting us over the 400 subscriber count, but why not stop there? Or why stop there, actually? So if you're a new viewer to the channel, definitely recommend hitting that sub button. I will greatly appreciate that. If you are a current viewer of this channel, I am grateful for you being here this long. Let's continue growing this channel together. Thank you, everyone, for getting over 400 subs. So let's continue to move on from there. So, honestly, I should say I expected waking up to this last night, but for some reason I just didn't think it was going to happen because knowing this organization. But Alain Vigneault and Michel Therrien have been fired, and now Mike Yeo is right now the interim head coach for the Philadelphia Flyers organization. At this point, it was inevitable, but a lot of this stuff does look bad now after last week's press conference with Chuck Fletcher, but I guess it is what it is at this point. It was going to happen. It just, with the way this team was playing, you expected some part of the coaching staff to be fired at this point. And it's Alain Vigneault and it's Michel Therrien that get fired. So Alain Vigneault brought in by Chuck Fletcher. Michel Therrien was brought in by Alain Vigneault a couple of years ago to try to turn this organization around. The first season was probably one of the more successful seasons out of the past decade for this team. But then for some odd reason, this team was just completely different coming to bubble time during those playoffs, and Alain Vigneault was just never able to get that same type of energy out of the team and that same type of play out of the team since the before the bubble, I should say. I don't know. I'm still frustrated with this team, but I do think this is a better step in the right direction. But also you have to go into the fact that this team has now hired, will be the sixth head coach for this team in the past decade, starting with Laviolette. And then you fire Laviolette to hire Berube. You fire Berube to hire Dave Haxtell. Fire Dave Haxtell to put Scott Gordon as interim head coach. And then you put Alain Vigneault in the head coach position. So that's 5 there. So now with Alain Vigneault out, you put Mike Yeo as the interim. So that's technically the 6th head coach this franchise has been with over a decade. So that is a huge problem there. You can also maybe tie that to, the product on the ice. Maybe the players are here to blame as well. There's blame on all sides. There's blames in the front office. There's blames with the coaching staff. And there's blames with the players. It's not all one thing right here, but at this point, someone was going to have to take the majority of the blame, and that point right here is a coaching decision was made, and 2 coaches got fired because of that. But I don't think it was all on the coaches either. I think Alain Vigneault, Michel Therrien, they were part of the problem, but I don't think they were the entirety of the problem. But at this point, it was inevitable. You're going to see, I guess, if you hire a different type of coach, there's a lot of rumors out there that Rick Tocchet is on the top of the list for a replacement head coach for this team. So we'll see what happens there. If it is Rick Tocchet, I'm not the biggest fan of that hiring just because of his previous history as a head coach. I would like him as an assistant head coach to maybe another guy that is on the market, but the Flyers kind of also lost that opportunity with maybe one of the topper guys. That Bruce Boudreau, he got hired by Vancouver when they cleaned house. So that's another guy that's off the list. But when you're looking at guys that are now on the coaching market, who really is out there, you're not going to go after Joel Quenneville after that entire debacle with the Blackhawks. So that's not going to happen. Do you go after a John Tortorella? I'm not sure who else do you look at on the market that you can bring in for this team. It's going to be a tough decision, but I think at the end of the day, it's most likely going to be Rick Tocchet because at the end of the day, Comcast is running this entire show, and I don't trust anything that Comcast does, but we'll see what happens in the ongoing future with this team. Let's see who are they going to hire as the next head coach. Chuck Fletcher is going to have a press conference with Mike Yeo at 12 p.m. We are going to be doing a Florida podcast during that time. So definitely when this video gets posted, definitely tune into that podcast. We'll be live streaming the presser as well, giving our thoughts on the entire situation. So definitely stay tuned for that. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, everyone. What are your thoughts on Alain Vigneault getting fired? Also the same thing with Michel Therrien. And what do you think this franchise does moving forward? Do you think at this point, do they blow it up? Do they still try to contend? I want to hear all those thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, do not forget to leave those down there. Do not forget to drop a like on this video. Do not forget to check out the Painted Lines, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Flyer.pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Do not forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you can do is hit that sub button. I'll greatly appreciate that. And I will see you next time.